Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of Coco in the Sun podcast. I am your host, Malika Critchlow, feeling very, I don't like to say this new thing over, but feeling very happy and grateful to be here with you guys today. So today we're going to continue reading about the Taoism in the Magdalene Manuscript. Yesterday was the Feast of the Magdalene. It was her celebration day, July 22nd. I will say I did not do anything in particular, but I did acknowledge it. I did take note of it. I did want to do a podcast yesterday, but did not have the wherewithal to do so. Had a really good day in the day. Good morning yesterday, and went for a walk, came home, relaxed. Then the evening was feeling so good and the breeze was so beautiful. I didn't wanna stop relaxing where I was relaxing. A lot of love energy, a lot of feeling at peace and harmony, a lot of connection with animals, particularly the elephants. I don't know, I was feeling really a lot of love for them and feeling so sorry for how humankind has treated them. Not all, because a lot of us humans take care of them and are helping, but the aspect of us of ourselves that we're not and we're preying on them, I was feeling really bad about that. And just sending lots of love to the elephants. I love elephants. Anyway, so this new full moon, which started, it's either Monday or Sunday night, been feeling really lovely. A lot of love and peace and harmony. A lot of feeling like I'm taken care of. I was feeling like, like a baby in utero doesn't have to worry about anything. All the needs are met there. And it's protected there. And then it doesn't know what it's going to be birthed into yet. But there is no concern. There's just peace and nurturing and nourishment and safety. So I was feeling like that was where I was within the universe, if you want to say, that I've said this before, it feels like a pregnant pause. My life is in a very pregnant pause, like I am being rebirthed, but rebirthed from a state of consciousness into a state of consciousness, but alongside aspects of consciousness that are unseen, like a new aspect of consciousness. And this morning, I was comparing how that rebirth is different from my human physical birth, because in the human physical birth, I am unconscious coming into consciousness. So there isn't thought. I don't have awareness of the reality and the needs and the reality and what needing to be provided for. There is no thought, there's just trust, because I am now coming into my consciousness and not aware of all these things that I'll need to survive. And this rebirth is different because I am conscious of my physical reality. I have all my awareness and I know what these needs are. And so the trust is not as forthcoming because whereas it was no choice, it just occurred. I have choice, I have thought. So in order to get to the trust, I have to work on my thoughts, and you have to either remove thought. So I think that's where meditation comes in. Or you have to change the thoughts into it'll work out. I'm protected, I'm safe, I'm loved. Because I'm loved, everything I need will be provided to me in the best way for me. And that's not always easy because of the um the way of being prior, that being that I have to do in order to have, I have to effort in order to have safety and to have my needs met. And this is a new thought process of my needs are provided as long as I know they are, as long as I trust they are, as long as I surrender to it coming in a way that's best for me, from the universe or quantum matter or my relationship with the universe and quantum matter and my divine aspects. So it's a whole different thought process. And because it's not evidenced in physical form, it's hard to believe and trust that thought process for there to be this new birth into this new being. So yeah, so I think like this pregnant pause that I'm in is where I learned this new way of being. And so that's why it has to be so still for so long. The stillness feels very scary because there are signs, but few signs of exactly where it's going and how the needs will be met or the life that I have will contain, what it will constitute of, what will my day-to-day life be, who will be in it, what will I be doing in it, what will bring me joys, where will I go, where will I live, what will I eat, like all these things are unknowns, as it were when you were a baby in utero, but you were not aware of all these things, whereas you're aware of all these needs now, and you don't know how these needs are going to be met. And just have to trust. So the stillness, the stillness, and I think the length of time of the stillness is the hardest part, but it's also what is integral for it to occur, because it's only with time that you will eventually let go of, or me, this is my own journey. I think the stillness, how long it lasts, depends on each person and how they are able to get to this new belief or this new blueprint, this new way of being and creating and living, right? But for me, the stillness is this long because this is as long as it's taken for me to clear those beliefs, to clear that way of thinking, that way of living. And it seems to be a complete clearing. It seems that it's not going to move forward very far until what needs to be cleared is cleared. So I'll give you an example of how it's going. From where it all started to now, the times that I am at peace are way more increased to the times where I am in fear or worry about what's going to happen. So when it first happened, right, when this change started to occur, I was in a place of back and forth, worry, it's going to be okay, worry, it's going to be okay. So then that back and forth changed from to 50-50. I thought once I got to 51%, the new life will start coming in, because I don't know, I feel like 51% is what's needed for change to occur generally. Like I used to think that was like a universal law. I have no idea if I'm at 51%. It feels like I am more hours of the day is spent at peace and knowing I'm okay and I'm loved and I'm being taken care of. And this is a process of clearing. More time seems to be spent there than in fear and worry and stress. But it still occurs, just less so, and less time is spent in that phase. And it's looking like it may need to be completely gone before things start moving more rapidly. They are moving, but I think it's moving in relation to possibly where I am in that process of changing core beliefs and thoughts and anchoring that. So I think that's what's going on. Yeah, so it is but that time is needed for it to clear, because every time I think, okay, I am not going to have a worry again, I understand that I am loved and cared for and this is going to work out, and I just have to trust and relax into it. Every time I feel like that, I'm like, oh my God, this is like 2 days I've been cruising. It's feeling good. There comes a day like this morning, and this morning it was just, what in the is going on? What if this leads to nothing? I have no evidence of it being this. This is just my mind making up things and seeing things that are not there. I need to get out there and get whatever I can in a desperate way in order to have the needs that I need to live the half life that's better than this not knowing. And let me tell you, completely paralyzed this morning. It was so heavy, those feelings. And I was like, yo, I thought I was over this, but no, here I am again with it. I think I'm moving past it, because whenever I have moments like this, I do look at it. I do love myself through it. And I say, oh, well, it's normal based on what your thought process was before and what you're unraveling and what you're clearing in order to change the way of being. And then I asked for help from my divine team, that being my soul, my angels, my guides, my teachers, any light beings of higher vibration or frequency of love and light that assist me in my evolutionary journey. I asked them to help calm my spirit, calm my emotions, bring me to peace, bring me back to center, help me get centered and focused on all the good possibilities, and trusting that I am loved and knowing that I am loved in the universe is nurturing me at this time in preparation for the very best life for me. Anyway, so that's what I've been dealing with this week. I also had this type of thing again last week. So it seems to be, I think last week, Wednesday or Thursday, I struggled with this, and I've been done until today. So it lasted about 5 days, I think 5 to 6 days, and then I'm here again. I don't know when it will be completely removed, but I know that this is just bringing things to the surface that need to be cleared and looked at and loved and transmuted into love. And so even the fact that I feel that way still is a good thing, because it's showing me what work still needs to be done and where. It is taking such a long time, but I have such a lot of rewiring to do. So I think the hardest part is the time. I can surrender, I can face my fears and continue going, but not knowing when that will end and the birth or the transition into the new world will occur. Or if I am birthed into it, but I don't have yet the awareness of this new world, that could also be it. It's difficult. It's difficult. So time is the hardest part, but it's also the gift, because without the time to really look at it, I don't think it would be fully healed. So it's a gift, and it's also rough. Also, like, so the time that allows for the doubt and all, doubt, fear, stress. Because like I understood clearly last week, oh my God, you are in utero, you are being loved and protected and safe and nurtured and nourished, and it will just take the time it needs for you to be fully who you need to be before you enter that life, for all the little bits to form, for all the you that you are to be, which will continue to grow when you're birthed, but you need the parts for it to grow, right? You need the brain and the heart and all the organs and the limbs to live in that world. Like a baby. So all of that's being formed. And I just understood that I was protected until that's formed, and that's the integral part of the process, and I'm not to rush that part of the process. And then today I was like, what if all of that I think it is wrong? It's taking so long. It's taking so long. What if I am wrong and I am effed? So yeah. Also, I got not an understanding, but a switch. So I do look at and ask for guidance in regards to abundance. Prosperity, wealth, financial freedom, in harmonious relationship with freedom of my being and of heart joys and freedom of time. And the other day I was like, just out of the blue, I want soul prosperity. I was like, is there such a thing as soul prosperity? Like, where did this thought come from? So I looked it up, and there is something called soul prosperity, or what prospers your soul. And I think it's all aspects of your life that prospers when you have soul prosperity. It makes everything that makes your life full and whole and enjoyable and fulfilled. True. So that's what soul prosperity is. I had no idea. I think it's even in the Bible. So yeah, so I of course want financial wealth, but soul prosperity, I think, encompasses all of that. So my focus has kind of switched to soul prosperity. I don't know if that's for anyone else. Could help anyone else. And what else? So tomorrow I found this podcast that does dream interpretations, because I'm having those dreams. I'm still having those dreams. They've been quite beautiful actually recently. Again, nothing it's more personal stuff. It doesn't feel like it's anything that I can share to help anyone else, really. But anyway, what I can share is I found this podcast that breaks down the dreams. And what he says is the dreams actually tell you what your gifts are, what's blocking you from your progression, what you need to heal, how to heal it, all these things. And it's called the Dream Interpretation Podcast by Michael Sheridan, Sheridan, Michael Sheridan. And if you want to look him up, he has a website. He has a free dream dictionary that you can download. And then he has like courses and classes. No, he has a free class tomorrow that has to do with how to channel safely. So what he's saying is, I've not been too intrigued with channeling, but he says like even the dreams are channeling because they're giving you information from your guides and stuff like that. I always think of channeling as some other being speaking through me, and I like my sovereignty. So I don't mind communicating with my guides and my angels in a way that we both enjoy. But I think that I'm not sure if I would enjoy moving aside and not being aware of what's being said. So that could be my own place in the spiral, and I may get past that. I don't know. But in terms of channeling, being that you're in conversation and with your divine team, I love that. So he was saying that you can channel your guidance. And so tomorrow he has a class at 1 p.m. Eastern time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, a Zoom class, where he is going to teach how to channel safely your divine self, your sacred self messages that could help you clarify what your guidance is, to help you progress so you can live the best life you can live. So I'm going to check the class out and see what it says. Um, he also says, like, he has the dream dictionary and it's really helpful. But sometimes, a lot of times, I think too, because a lot of times when I have my dreams, I get the understanding of what the dream is with the dream, but sometimes I don't know what it means and it's a little I'm out of whack with it. So he was saying that sometimes it doesn't exactly mean the same thing based on the context and I guess your experience and how, because they use the ways that you understand and would best communicate with you, like things that mean something to you in a way that you would understand. So sometimes not all, the dream dictionary doesn't always work for you. So he says that sometimes he had to teach himself to channel, and he's able to channel and find clarification on what this dream meant for the individual, etc. as well. So I think that's kind of cool, and I'm going to check that out and see what that looks like. So if you guys want to check it out, let me see if I can find the website to share with you. It's called Isling Dream Interpretation. Dream-analysis.com is a website. I'm going to share it. Let's see. How do I share? So this is the website. as you can see, oh goodness, I want that thing to go. It says dreamanalysis.com. It's Aisling, AISLING, dream interpretation. And I think these are the different things. He has a YouTube show, you can check it out. It's really interesting. Some of the stuff I'm like, oh, well, my dream didn't mean that. I kind of knew. And stuff like that. This stuff, oh, wow, where did that go? I didn't know they had stuff about cutting ties. Let's see. We missed that one. Oh, he's telling you how to cut ties. That's cool. I might check this out. That's cool. There's a package for almost $3,000 to help heal your childhood trauma. Cutting the ties. Cutting the ties and buying combination package. But if you have, you can check this out. I'm gonna try this process he has here. But anyway, so I just thought I found this resource. I don't know if it will help you guys. If you guys want to check it out, the Zoom thing is tomorrow. I'm trying to see. If I can find that thing. I don't know. Spiritual dimension of dreams, mini course, end of confusion. Discover your gifts and live a life. I would love to do this. Begin September 1st. How much is this one? What are the prices? See? 1,300. 1,500 is the cheapest, 2,000, 1,300. I think they're good. If I could afford it, I would try it. But yeah. Anyways, I can't find the Zoom thing now. That's so weird. I wonder why. Let me see if I can. This is a 14 channeling program, but that's not what I was doing the thing for tomorrow. I don't know. I don't know where it is. But it's on there. So they do have it. Maybe wish I could find it so I could show you guys. Well, you could email them or call them here to find out more about it. That's the contact details if you want to find out more about the little class tomorrow. Anyways, so that's enough about that for now. I just wanted to share that resource with you. So that is what's going on in my life. I thought the full moon energy was quite beautiful until this one. We're feeling a lot better now. And so let's get going with the Taoism. Let's continue. Let's continue learning. about cultivation of qi. Let me get my glasses. Okay, so cultivation of qi. As with the tantric yogi or yogini who attains samadhi, a Taoist practitioner will become aware of ever more subtle levels of perception. This subtlety of perception allows the Taoist to sense the flow of qi directly and to draw it into the body, called collecting, for the purpose of alchemical transformation called cultivation. With a heightened sensitivity of qi, a Taoist alchemist undertakes several things. First of all, he or she collects qi throughout the day, drawing his vital force into the body to strengthen organs and systems. There are many forms by which this is done. Qigong masters from China have recently started teaching in the West, and this is one form of qi collecting and cultivation, but there are other forms as well. So Qigong was given to me in a dream. I had asked one morning or one night before I went to sleep, what can I do to help me feel better? This was like a few months ago. I would say almost 3 or 4 months ago. And I woke up with a spelling in my brain and a word. I heard it in my mind, Qigong. And I Googled it. I had never heard of it before. Googled it, found it on YouTube, and every so often I check it out. So I don't do it consistently, but I do like it when I do it. So yeah. Depending upon the school and methods used, most Taoists eventually turn their attention to the chi body. This is the same as the etheric body of the yogis or the ka body of the Egyptians. Unlike the aforementioned bodies, the chi body is the same shape as the physical body. It interpenetrates the physical body, and there is no part of the physical body that is not in the chi body. The development of the chi body is a crucial element in many forms of Taoist alchemy. Part of the reason for this is that a potent chi body, lays the foundation for more advanced practices. If either the physical body or the chi body is depleted, certain alchemical processes cannot be undertaken. And strengthening the chi body is crucial for the attainment of immortality. One of the more interesting ways of cultivating chi and thereby strengthening the chi body involves what the Taoists call the elixir fields. These energetic reservoirs of chi are in 3 areas of the chi body itself. When they are fully charged with chi, they emit an energy that is called an elixir due to its strengthening effects. The first elixir field in the area of the lower organs, from the diaphragm floor to the pelvic floor. Okay, the first elixir field is in the area of the lower organs, from the diaphragm down to the pelvic floor. This elixir field strengthens the lower visceral organs. The second elixir field is in the area of the upper organs of the torso, from the diaphragm to the top of the lungs. This elixir field strengthens the lungs and heart, as well as the thymus gland, one of the major sites of the immune system. The third elixir field is in the head and strengthens neurological function. Certain forms of Taoist alchemy draw qi into these areas, collecting, and then circulate the qi through the corresponding organs and up towards the head, cultivation. As the qi is refined and drawn to the next elixir field, the organs within that field are strengthened and the circulating qi is refined. The ancient Taoists also explored the subtle energy pathways of the body and mapped them out with considerable detail. The meridians used in acupuncture were discovered and described by the Taoists. They are similar to the nadis of yoga. And scientific research on the meridians, most notably in Japan, has demonstrated that they are an energetic phenomenon. In addition to the meridians, the Taoists described a pathway that became crucial to certain types of alchemy. It is called the microcosmic orbit. This pathway circulates qi from the perineum up the spine into the head and then down the front of the body back down to the perineum. As the microcosmic orbit makes its way through the qi body, it passes through the three elixir fields. By moving qi through the microcosmic orbit, the practitioner stimulates the higher brain centers and greatly refines the quality of the circulating qi. The refinement of qi is crucial in the Taoist alchemy, since it is only through refined qi that one can enter Shen, or the spirit world. It is also said in the more esoteric schools of Taoism that practicing the microcosmic orbit dissolves negative karmas, negative effects arising from past actions. Sexual essence into spirit, Jing and Shen. This is a new section, okay? Sexual essence into spirit, Jing and Shen. If we look into the transformation of consciousness through Taoist metaphor, we could say the task is that of changing water into mist. The energy of embodied life is refined through alchemical process to the point that it becomes like mist. Okay. When one has attained this highly refined state, one's essence is now more spirit than that of man or woman. And the key to this remarkable transformation from a biological point into spiritual being begins with sex. The transformation of sexual essence into spirit is a key component to many types of Taoism. In Taoism, the male's sexual essence is called Jing. One's spiritual nature is called Shen. By drawing the sexual energy of Jing up the spine through the microcosmic orbit, it is refined and eventually becomes Shen. This movement of qi of the spine is, of course, reminiscent of the raising of the Djed in Egyptian alchemy, as well as the concept of Shushumna, or central pathway of the chakras in yoga. I have not read any existing traditional Taoist writings for women in regards to the transformation of the sexual essence into Shen, spirit. This does not mean, of course, that such writings don't exist, just that I haven't seen them. Nevertheless, I believe the process is similar to that of the male in many ways. As in nature, there is always more than one way to accomplish a task, and the transformation of one's sexual essence into spiritual illumination, Shen, is no exception. In some forms of Taoist alchemy, the practitioner focuses on the collection of qi into the elixir field. When there is an excess of qi in this area, meaning not needed by the visceral organs, the alchemist will activate the first alchemical furnace in which the dross of impurities of the qi are removed. This refined qi is then progressively circulated into the second and third elixir fields. This movement also refines the qi, making it more subtle. By the time it reaches the head, the third elixir field, it is transformed into Shen, giving the Taoist access to the spirit world. When a Taoist alchemist has successfully transformed his or her sexual essence into Shen, he or she has attained a very exalted state of being. Myths and legends abound from ancient China in regards to these high Taoist sages. Legend has it that these beings lived in the high places of mountains, dragon points, sustaining themselves of dew and herbs. From an alchemical standpoint, morning dew collected on the leaves of plants is highly concentrated qi. A being who has transformed his or her sexual essence into Shen would have no trouble sustaining himself or herself on such a refined food. For such a person, their digestive system would be highly refined and could easily metabolize the qi of dew into usable energy. Here on an island in the Cyclades, there is a wonderful melon, a cousin of the honeydew. But unlike other melons that need watering, this melon grows on the barren, dry, and wind-swept soil of the island without any water whatsoever. Amazingly, it draws its water from the air, and it is one of the most extraordinary melons I have ever tasted. One can sense the intense concentrated qi, and the taste is sweet. There is another botanical wonder on the island that does something similar. It looks like our cedar trees in the northwest, but like the melons, it does not need any water. This is good because there is precious little on the island. These trees grow near the ocean and draw the salt-laden air to their leaves, extracting the moisture and leaving the dried salt behind. I had never thought about plants being alchemists, other than the obvious process of photosynthesis. But these two plants have obviously attained a high degree of alchemical mastery. But let's return to our human alchemists. When a Taoist has refined his or her sexual nature into the state of Shen spirit, he or she becomes a very different order of being. And how this miraculous transformation takes place is through balancing two opposing cosmological forces, the yin and yang. Yin and yang. The deeply intuitive sages of ancient China explored the patterns of creation within nature, and one of their discoveries was the existence of two subtle, complementary, and at times opposing forces called yin and yang. In Taoist symbolism, the sun and the moon are sometimes used to denote these two elements of creation. Yang, the sun, is associated with light and heat. It is kinetic, meaning energy in motion, and it moves decisively. Lightning is yang, it lights up the sky, has tremendous force, and when it strikes, there is no hesitation. Yin, the moon, is moist, cool, and dark. It has potential energy, not kinetic. It is surrounded by moisture. It is dark and it is cool. But when the sun yang comes out, its heat warms the soil and the seeds begin to grow. It is the balance of, I'm sorry, I missed it out. I missed out a line, sorry. Yin, the moon, is moist, cool, and dark. It has potential energy, not kinetic. It is surrounded by moisture. It is dark and cool. But when the sun yang comes out, its heat warms the soil and the seed begins to grow. It is the balance of yin and yang that produces life. Too much moisture, yin, and the seed will rot. Too much heat, yang, and it will shrivel up and die. Yin and yang are not static forces. They are continually transforming into each other. Yin becomes yang and yang becomes yin. Although we can never see yin or yang directly, we can experience their effects. For some reason, I am reminded of an experience I had during my freshman year at Belmont Academy. Although I did not know it at the time, it is an example of the ever-constant transformations of yin and yang. It was October, and the trees on campus were brilliant with mottled reds and yellows of fall. Everywhere one stepped, the grass crackled with the sound of dead leaves underfoot. A stiff breeze was blowing across the quadrangle, an omen of winter just ahead. I had stepped out into the brisk air from my dormitory en route to an afternoon soccer game. I don't remember who was playing, but it was homecoming and the campus was humming with activity, a state rarely experienced in this Benedictine-run college. The lanes were full of parked cars with alumni returning to their alma mater. The trunks and backs of station wagons were brimming with some kind of modern cornucopias laden with fried chicken, potato salad, and iced tea. This was, after all, the South. Here and there, a makeshift barbecue was obscured by smoke, and the smell of hot dogs and hamburgers wafted through the air. Students walked with their parents in a kind of spontaneous parade. Some seemed proud of being seen with their families. Some slinked back, pretending not to belong to the parents who had borne them. This menagerie of humanity flowed into the soccer field like a river, and I joined it on the last rung of the bleachers. As the game ensued, I remember being oddly detached, as if watching a ballet. The sky was a bright color Carolina blue, and the sun was hanging midway in the sky. Its warmth was just enough to be pleasant against the cold air, and I suppose it was this balanced force of the elements that created the odd effect in me. The soccer team came onto the field, and we released a hullabaloo like only a group of suppressed Catholic boys can muster. We had become yang. We were full of energy, yelling and whooping. The sound of our cat calls, no doubt, heard in the small town miles away. And then the team took their positions, waiting for the ball to be tossed in the air by the referee. We stood breathlessly still. We watched with rapt attention. We had become yin. Then our team miraculously got the ball. I say miraculously because almost every game we played that year, we lost. Not only that, but we had lost the homecoming game to the same team every year for the last 5 years. You can imagine the tension. Suddenly, we sprang to our feet. The aluminum bleachers groaned from the weight. We had transformed in the twinkling of an eye from yin into yang. We were screaming with delight as our team got closer to the goal, and then in a moment, our glory was taken away by some blonde punk who stole the ball, and the game headed off in the opposite direction. After some catcalls from a few of the alumni, we settled en masse back into our seats. Yang had become yin. I watched the constant ballet of yang into yin and back into yang the whole afternoon. When the game was over, I watched the last glimmer of the sun as it sat behind the large oaks on campus. The air was still. The alumni had gone home, and most of the students were in the pub or in their dorms. I walked the strangely silent grounds. The sliver of a new moon was rising through the last remnants of sunset. Yang had turned into yin. Oh, and the ball game, we lost. Okay, let's see how long this is. I'm going to read this and then let's stop after this. So this is cultural attitudes and the cultivation of qi. We live in an ocean of qi. Some of it is yang, full of power and direction, and some of it is yin, receptive and resting. For the most part, we are unaware of it, though it affects us on many levels. A Taoist alchemist is one who has become aware of this all-pervading sea of qi. And through the practices of alchemy, he or she learns to draw this energy into his or her body to transform consciousness and to enhance health and well-being. Our modern lifestyle in the industrialized West is destructive of well-being. We are overly fixated on yang. We honor productivity and action. We do not, as a culture, understand or appreciate inaction. It is considered weak. We jazz ourselves up with caffeine and other drugs. We are obsessed with speed. We are yang and proud of it. But there are problems with this. For one, it is out of balance, and two, it is ultimately destructive. We don't generally understand this, but yang comes out of yin. In the state of Washington, there is a powerful hydroelectric dam. There's nothing more yang, perhaps, than electricity. But the source of this yang energy is watery yin. The lake that was dammed to make the hydroelectric plant is now a vast body of water. It sits absolutely still most of the time, except for little wavelets created by the wind. It is yin. It is potential power, but it is unmoving. It is all potential. But when the sluice gates open at the plant, this water yin is transformed into yang, and the rushing water turns the immense turbines of the power plant. This in turn produces another form of yang, the electricity that runs our lights and TVs and our other time-saving appliances. Of course, we don't have enough time to enjoy these time-saving devices, but that is another issue. We are caught up in a cultural whirlwind of yang madness. Fast food restaurants abound and are painted with yang colors like red and yellow to encourage customers to eat faster, making room for more customers. Mindless, repetitive techno pop blares in the background, and fast-paced ambient music encourages us to do everything a little faster. I use the term music rather loosely, since the postmodern crap bears little resemblance to the loftier attributes of music, like healing and inspiration. But you see, music, or the bastardization of it, is one of my pet peeves. So please do forgive me, and let's get back to yin and yang. To summarize my main point here, I would say that many Westerners, especially those in the United States, seem to be uncomfortable with leaving any space or moment in time unfilled. The net effect of all this is that we are seeing an immense increase in stress-related illnesses. The body is simply not equipped to remain in yang states for long periods of time. It needs yin. It needs time to do nothing, to rest, perchance to dream. But in our Western culture, doing nothing is seen as being lazy. Yet, this is sometimes the wisest thing we can do. If you want to be yang, then you had best spend some time being yin. A Taoist would never be caught dead having expended too much yang if he or she can avoid it. The reason is that Taoist alchemy requires an exquisite balance of these two forces. The ancient Taoists understood this phenomenon to a great extent, and if anything characterizes Taoism, it is the concept of poised balance. This concept becomes second nature to a practicing alchemist, since the success of Taoist alchemy requires the forces of yin and yang to be used correctly. Okay, so I'm going to stop here for today, and then we'll continue with dual cultivation in the next episode. Oh my goodness. Oh, yeah. And then, yeah, I think that will complete the Taoist, and then we will start the Tibetan Buddhist alchemy. Okay, so that is it for today. I hope you have a good day. I hope I didn't ramble too much with you guys, with where I am in the process. I really wish I had more external progress to share. I feel a lot of internal progress and understanding and clearing and rebuilding and restoring. And a maintenance of external needs, but not a growing or progression of it just yet. I still have a lot of faith that that is coming, that it's being created with this internal work. And like the seed, you can't see it sprouting its roots. The shoot hasn't come out through the dirt yet, but the roots are being studied. It's being studied. It's being studied. So it's not easily rocked when it makes its debut. I think that's the state I'm in. I don't know how many roots have sprouted yet and how much more before I break the surface. Or maybe I have broken the surface and I'm getting used to the reality. Don't know. Don't know. I do find out though eventually. I do get updates into where I am. So I am somewhat confident that I'll get more updates in where I am in the process and who I'm developing into and what things make my soul prosper and in living these things. Do think worrying slows the process down, but I do think it is a normal part of the process based on the whole rewiring that needs to be done. I think we're supposed to enjoy this time. I think I'm supposed to enjoy this rest and this nature. I've been seeing it. I say it, and I do enjoy it a lot more than I used to. So yeah, it's a back and forth, an ebb and flow. Yeah. So I think, I hope, I know I'll be engaged with my my best life soon. Oh, is anybody able to channel their higher self? I don't like to say higher, but sacred self, that divine self, their soul, to find out what is best for them, what's next for them, those type of things, what's on the soul path, what needs to be cleared, what needs to be healed, etc., etc. If so, how does that work for you? Is it usually correct? Do you usually follow the guidance, and does it lead to great things that are just perfect for you? Oh, you know what I had a struggle with too? I had a struggle with surrendering to my soul and allowing it to know what brings me joy, what prospers my soul. I wanted a harmonious relationship with my human ego aspect, with my soul aspect. But I had an epiphany about soul prosperity the other day, and it would include what would bring me joy in this physical reality. In a way that's beyond my human thinking. And what brought this to my understanding? Because I was asking, why was I so resistant to it? Why did I want this and not that? And I still wanted to have some say, some egoic say in what my physical reality was. And I had the understanding that my soul knows what my human aspect wants, and it would be incorporated into the soul prosperity. It's all inclusive. Because it includes all aspects of my being. And yeah, it would be in the best way for me. It would really, and the example that came to me was Tabitha Brown. Have you guys ever seen Tabitha on Instagram? I just adore her. I just adore Tabitha. Okay. She is so full of love and she's so authentic and genuine. And she shares so much about her process and her life and her progress with us. And I watched a video with her a while back, a few months ago, and she was describing how this whole thing occurred. Like she was ill for a few months and she couldn't do much. She couldn't do anything, she said. And I was like, wait, is that the pregnant pause that we get? We get sometimes it's a hard stop. For me, what they did, and I'm paying attention to for what my divine team is saying. When they say stop, I'm gonna stop. It's hard. But yeah, I think she said that she was really ill. She was really ill. They couldn't figure out what it was. They think it could have been some kind of immune something going on. And she was very ill for a few months and she was crying out to God, praying and asking for help. And the answer came, I think, how her daughter told her she should look at a Netflix video, and she was looking at the Netflix show that talked about ways of eating, and she just knew to change the way she was eating, and then she started to get relief from her physical symptoms and stuff like that. But she's always wanted to be an actor. And that was what her human ego self wanted, to be an actor. And she only saw certain ways of getting to it, but it meant conforming and not being her true self. And she surrendered to what God wanted. I think she said, Lord, if you help me, if you heal me, I will surrender this life to you. I think that's equivalent to surrendering to your soul, to your God aspect, um, to your divine aspect, for it to lead you to what will bring you the most joy and expand you in the best way for you. And from that, so she has dreams and stuff. And I think she has other forms of communicating. I don't fully know what all of her ways of communicating are. That's why I want to check out that meeting tomorrow, because I feel like he says there are 9 ways in which you can communicate with your divine self. And you just have to figure out which ways work for you. And the ways that work for you are what's for you, and just use those ways to get your answers and stuff like that. Anyway, so she was in communication with her divinity, with God, right? And from there, she got guidance to do videos, and a lot of it too was following her joys. She didn't want to go back to working 9 to 5 after that break from being ill. She couldn't conform herself in that way. She was driving Uber, so she found a way to. She has a husband too, he looks like a really good husband that allows, not allows, but that respects her guidance as well, you know? And then it's a communication, a nice balance, a nice communication. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, she started getting guidance to do videos. She did a video for Whole Foods, not for Whole Foods. She buy herself a sandwich and did a Instagram video on the sandwich. She said doing the Instagram videos was against anything actors would say to do, like, don't do it, that's influencer stuff, blah, blah, blah. But the direction she was getting was to do the videos, and she was obedient to what was being shown to her. And her video went viral. Just her video buying a sandwich, a vegetarian sandwich that she wanted to check out from Whole Foods. And from there, she got a deal with Whole Foods because the video went so viral. And it just kept building from there. And if you check Tabitha out now, not only is she acting, which is what the human ego wanted, the egoic want was, which is being provided for. Um, she has a hair care line, she has a seasoning line, she has cookbooks, and she still has she's not just cookbooks, she has books, inspirational books. And I saw her the other day with an air fryer. She promotes small businesses and she stays true to herself for what works for her and what doesn't work for her. She still does the recipes sometimes, but what I love from her videos is her little inspirational messages that she gives. It's always on point for what I need. I tell you, like, so connected, so connected. So yeah, I got that understanding that I needed to surrender to my soul and what prospers my soul, because that includes all the things I love and enjoy in the best way for me. And I was finding this quick. I want this. Yes, including what the soul wants, but I want this human thing. And there's no need to fight it. The soul wants to give it to me in a way that's best for all involved in a harmonious way. So yeah, I let go. Soul prosperity came in. But yeah, I thought that was stronger this week. And it showed me Tabitha, not it. I don't know why I say it. These ideas come, these thoughts come. I didn't see one of her videos or anything, didn't pop up to bring it to my attention. I was just sitting there. I do mirror talks, so I told you guys this. This really helps me when I talk in the mirror. Um, Somehow later on in the day or in a few days, an answer or a solution comes. And so yeah. So I do that and it works. It works. So yeah, this thought come, but wait, I think Tabitha's story kind of reflects that. I don't know how my story is going to end. And I don't know if it'll be its own story and its own journey. It may not have the same time signatures as Tabitha's does, but her story gives me a lot of hope. And I see a lot of how it works with her story, you know? I can learn from it. So yeah, so that's where I'm at. I would say that I am happy that they did not choose illness to slow me down. That the slowdown appears to be in terms of career, what brings me joy in career. And that's what they're using to make this U-turn for me, I believe. So we'll see where this goes, you know. Anyways, a few new things I'm doing in the mirror when I do the mirror talk. So I do the mirror talks whenever I want to clear something or understand something or ask a question. Sometimes I don't do the mirror talk. I'll just say it out loud in my bed quietly or on the couch or whisper it to myself. Sometimes I'll just have the thought in my head. I think thoughts can do it as well. Just to make sure though, sometimes I like to say it quietly. So it could be in the mirror, but if I don't feel like getting up or if I'm not around the mirror, sometimes I can use my camera phone or I just say it. I think I still receive the help I need by just saying it. But this new thing I've been doing in the mirror recently, I've been saying, I love you, Malika, in the mirror. I do it as many times as I can, but at least 3 times to help further the self-love. I think it does for whatever. Everybody has their own rituals or their own things that work for them. This came to me last week. Again, unusual how it did. So I think it is a method that was given to me to help me progress. So I do it most times right before bed or in the morning when I get up. Or just in the mirror, I remember. I also say my name in the mirror 3 times or more. So I don't have these things I also do if I'm not close to the mirror and I want to deepen the love, right? So if I'm driving in the car, I might just say, I love you, Malika. I love you, Malika. I love you, Malika. And just hope that's instilled and embedded and imbued in my day, the self-love. Because the self-love leads to all love, right? But the Malika, I say Malika, sometimes I say Malika Critchlow, just saying it because I saw a video with Antaka when the angel instruction was to say your name in order to bring that new life to you. It's like speaking your name into the new life. So I do that as well. I like doing it. It doesn't hurt. So I don't know if that helps anyone. I do find my love seems to be expanding. So I think that I love you, Malika works. I thought about it and although I've heard other people say that they love me, I think hearing yourself say it is quite empowering. Hearing your voice say it is quite beautiful. So I like it. And then saying my name. Normally when I say my name, I get a visualization of myself and what that looks like to me. And it always looks like good times with good people, with good food, in beautiful homes, in loving communication, in joy, in laughter. It always looks like that. So I'm hoping to bring that in. It looks like that's what I am. Yeah. Anyways, have a great day. We'll talk next episode. I wish you guys all the love and understanding and healing that can get you to the best place for you. Hope you know that you are loved, that you are loved. You take time with yourself to figure out what that means to you, to be true to yourself and your wants and your joys, and to let go of whatever doesn't bring you any joy. Anyways, have a great day. We will talk next episode. Bye.